to her.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me, coach. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Get off our lawn.
Indeed. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma. And as always, hey, we don't ever talk about it, but go out and buy one of these. These are fucking fabulous. I mean, they really are. They're well made. Yeah, they're a little pricey, but they're well worth it. And when you go out to your local, pub to watch the game or whatever, people gonna know, like, hey, you support those idiots? And you'd be like, yeah, I do.
Still waiting for somebody to win the bingo game.
Yeah, exactly. We will get into the bingo cards in a minute. I do have to say to Pete on his show yesterday, he said that he was trying to pronounce Rems, and he said I should know how to pronounce it because I'm French. And we all know that's not true. And I don't know why he persists on calling me French. But it is funny that he does, because the first time I was ever on the show, that's how he pronounced my name, Richet.
Mm-hmm.
And then yet I've heard him talk about Spencer Ritchie with no problem whatsoever, and his last name spelled exactly the same as mine.
Are you sure that your family weren't from Germany occupied France?
No, they were just Germans.
Just
well, the
figured it
Ritchie
out.
part comes from the Isle of Man. If I had my mom's, real last name before she was married, it'd be Vollrath. So that's very German. Now, Ritchie is a Isle of Man thing. Who knows? I don't know if there are any Ritchies left on the Isle of Man. I think they might have all left. So there's that. Also wanted to give props to, I've been on a binge trying to catch up on the Ted Lasso show. It's a great show, but it's also great because the music they play is fucking great. You had just the last few episodes, Beware of Darkness from George Harrison. When the sinking feeling that he really knows something is not right, and that starts playing. Oh my God, such a great fuck. And then they had ELO in the background. They had Radiohead. Jesus.
Have you branched out to the new season?
I haven't made it to 3 yet, but I am I'm on season 2. I gotta be at least 6 or 7 in at this point. So it's after Kent leaves.
That's 5. He leaves the broadcasting and rejoins the wrong.
No, it's when Roy Kent leaves the chick because she starts her own business. Remember that? Yeah.
Well, he doesn't technically leave her, and that's like the last episode. First off,
what it was? So I might be in episode 3 now. Then
season 3. But yeah,
season 3.
So spoiler alert for
No.
anybody who hasn't watched it yet. The final like last minute of the last episode is Keely talking about how she can't go on a vacation with Roy for 6 weeks because she's starting up her own business.
No, and then I watched the next episode after that.
Well, then you watched the first episode of the next season then.
Oh, they split. Damn. All right.
Spoiler alert again.
Sorry to ruin that for everybody. I think they'll get back together. Also wanted to give a shout out to BMR and Nate for telling me I had the worst take ever. No, I'm not confused. I don't pay attention to the episode numbers at all. I just hit play and I let it run, and I don't pay any attention to what season it is, what episode it is. So it's okay. I'm not confused because I don't give a shit. It would be confusing if I did give a shit and I didn't know where I was, but I don't give a shit, so it's not confusion. It's just me not giving a shit. But I want to give a shit out.
I don't even know. I'm not in the 3rd season, and then you start spouting off spoilers from the first episode of the 3rd season.
I guess I'm way deeper in than I thought. But both of them said my worst take ever was my, oh so subtle me saying that Enzo, he's got great potential, but he I don't know if he's somebody you necessarily need to hold on to in Chelsea. And I get that. I get the criticism. Maybe you guys think he's wonderful, but I do have to say, he only played 17 or so games at Benfica. Yes, he had a good World Cup. I get it. And at Chelsea, though, he's only played 10 or 11 games, and those are bad 10 or 11 games. Not that he was bad. In fact, sometimes he wasn't good, but the whole team wasn't good. So I get it that he has world-class potential. And that's just something you have to, I guess you're going to have to because you're going to have to sell a bunch of guys. Who are you going to get money for? You going to get a lot of money for Enzo? You probably would, because you're going to need to chip away at that coffer at Chelsea. So I want to give you guys both shout outs, because I didn't see it. I did not have comments on, and Brett didn't notify me, so I had to address that. So the turd in the background says, "Welcome to the straight red card. Just like my wife, the Leeds back line is easily penetrable." That was some game yesterday. I've had better times plucking pubic hairs one by one. It's a fetish. The sad thing about that game is it was a really good game first half.
Oh my God, it was a tale of two halves. And I know people say it all the time, but we'll get into it. But Leeds definitely should have put up at least 2 or 3 in that first.
Yeah, I mean, and warning, I've had bloody noses since I got home from work. So if I have one again, you see blood trickling down my right nostril, that is because I don't know why. It's not like I don't have a coke habit, so that can't be it. Although I probably do, since the since the season has started with the all the allergies. We got spring coming. I probably have been sniffing too much of that because I can't breathe out of my fucking nose. So yeah, I had a bloody nose, and then I had one right before we went on, and I had all this shit stuck up my nose. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, so I don't have to do the show with this shit in my nose like that. But the show will have to go on if I do. But right now the blood has stopped. That is good. All right. Also,
before you say also,
okay, go ahead.
I need you to look away so we can start the bingo cards, and then you can go also. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. I'm sharing my screen now. Here's your card 1, people. You may have to go back and verify if we've talked about any of these topics ahead of time, which I don't think we have. There's not a lot. Let's Ted Lasso got put in here. I'm not sure. Oh, come on. That one's simple. That's going to happen. Here's number 3. It's a very Derek-centric card.
That must mention masturbation.
There's 4. Oh, wow. Hold on. Stopping share. Okay, good.
You're done? All right.
So oddly enough, card 4 has something that we talked about at before the show started. Should we go ahead and just give people with card 4 a...
yeah, what the hell did we talk about before the show started?
Rare U.S. women's national team talk.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about it before the show. And, I'm sad for Mallory.
After that first entry, I thought she was going to go off. Probably should have at that point. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but...
Yeah. It wasn't the best game I've watched by the U.S. women's team.
It was boring. It was so boring.
Yeah. And Ireland's not even that good. So
I mean, they had plenty of chances too. That game could have gone either way.
It's not a good sign, because I guarantee you, England, Germany, who's it? Sweden's usually really good. These teams will really give us a run for our money if Ireland is giving us a problem. It's nothing against Irish women at all. I'm sure, they're doing the best they can, but they were way behind us in developing women's sports. And Germany have just caught up to us. So have England. And
they definitely put money into the infrastructure and developed a decent league. Although they've also have the ability of doing kind of a Champions League type of thing, right? They do Champions League, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's stuff.
No, I mean, women's soccer in Europe is really big now, and you've got, all the big teams, like PSG's got a great women's team, Bayern's got a great women's team. I mean, that's where you go to actually make money if you're a gal playing, soccer now. You don't do it in WSL, I don't think. I think you go to Europe, and that's where the big bucks are. But, who am I to know? I don't know. I'm not an expert. So look at me. I'm Brett. I drink liquor straight, procreate twice, and have never hugged my father.
Spot on. It's like he knows me.
Oh, geez. BMR, are you going to tell Brett what happened on Pete's show, or am I?
You might as well bring it up.
Okay. I said I wouldn't say what happened. He did a plug for our show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he said, go watch Derek and Brett at 8:15 tomorrow. And no, he didn't. He said, go watch Derek and oh shit. What's Derek's? What's the guy that does the show with Derek? He couldn't remember your name. So you owe him one. You owe him one. Although everybody else in the chat knew, they were like Brett. Everybody's like Brett. But Pete forgot you. Anyhow,
I had all the faith that Paul was a good friend of mine. What the hell?
You know what? At least everyone in the chat knew. But Pete, he's busy.
I'm a people person.
And plus, the only reason he knew my name is I was in the chat. All right, so that's not true. He just forgot. By the way, are we going to talk about Pepe rejecting Augsburg today?
Oh, yeah, we will. Yes.
Okay, we are.
I guess. Do you have anything else you want to add before we start? Everything?
If I were to tell you I was well chuffed, what would you think that meant? If I said to you,
I mean, I know what chaffed is.
After watching the game,
it's like a past tense version of it.
Nope.
Oh.
After watching the game,
you're pissed off.
It's an English thing. After watching the game, I was well chuffed. Now, I was thinking that word must mean like I'm fucked up because I drank too much, or
I'm still kind of thinking it's like pissed off. Like,
yeah,
am I irate? I'm annoyed.
It does not sound like a positive word, does it? Chuffed. CHUFFED. It means
David
happy.
Satisfied?
It means happy, satisfied, pleased. Like,
there we go.
I don't know. That would confuse me if I went to England and said, man, I am well chuffed. And I'd be like, well, hey, I hope I didn't piss you off. I'm sorry. No, he's like, I am happy. I like our discussion. Oh, okay. I wouldn't have guessed that's what the word chuffed means. Also, the commercial they've been playing at the start of our shows is FC Parking the Bus commercial, the women's NWSL commercial. They picked the wrong show for that.
I don't want to go back into the Bud Light fiasco from last show and everything like that, but I watched another video where they were talking about the current situation of all the Bud Light sales and stuff like that, and the opening ad for it was Budweiser.
Really?
I'm like, whoa. If I enter the Matrix here, what's happening?
That's the keyword thing, right? So if we got soccer in our language, then they're going to run a soccer commercial. If they see Budweiser's one of the search words in a video, they're going to decide, okay, they Budweiser. So we'll
Deloitte. There we go. I was trying to think of the women's commercial that was always on our show.
Deloitte. Yeah.
Deloitte.
And then last thing, but not least, this was irritating. Xbox new commercial. You remember the old saying, treat others as you would treat yourself?
Yes, the golden rule.
Yeah. Their new thing is treat others as they want to be treated.
Yeah, screw that. Sorry, I had to look at the time. I was supposed to say, fuck that. But
as they want to be treated? Like if they want to be treated with a reach around, I've got to treat them that way? This
is that whole the Call of Duty chat part, where people are like, you would never survive in a Call of Duty board or whatever, where people constantly are ripping others a new one, but it's very toxic, Derek, to go into.
Oh, I'm sure it's horrible, but I just found that to be the opposite of what I've always been told. Treat people like you would like yourself to be treated. I guess if you like to be beat up and spanked, maybe that doesn't make sense. But in this case, treat others as they want to be treated. Well, I'm sorry. There are a lot of freaks out there these days, and I'm not going to treat people as they want to be treated if they want me to be treating them like they're A, God, B, whatever, like the boss, or C, they want to reach around, and I hardly know them, or D,
you mentioned it earlier, the reach around. So he called you out on the reach around again. It's reach around. As you said that, it popped up.
Yeah, or
Reach
I mean,
round.
they want me to toss their salad or something. I'm not into that. So I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm.
I think just be nice to people and treat people how you would want to be treated, and be respectful. That's all. It's pretty simple.
Fun in
It
that.
doesn't need to go this far. I don't need to be told how to treat other people by the people themselves. You know, Derek, what I really like to be treated as, I like to be treated as like the princess here. And so if you're not going to put me on a
Good.
pedestal,
Xbox is telling you how they want to be treated, Derek, and you're not treating them that way. It's just
I don't like to-
inconsiderate and rude.
Brett, I don't like to be disagreed with. So you better stop treating me that way. I want you to agree with everything I say. You hear? Okay, that's just how I like to be treated, Brett.
There's a pocket of the U.S. men's national team fan base Twitter that thinks that we all do agree with each other.
Yeah, well, they're wrong.
There you go.
They're
You
wrong.
got your way, Derek.
You know, one more thing we got to talk about because it's not on the, and it is a
It's not on our
thing.
docket.
No, but Dante Van Zer from New York Red Bulls has been accused of, using the N-word in a game. I'm not saying anything like he didn't say it, but I do have to bring up this possibility. In Belgium, in certain parts of Belgium, the word for Negro is Neger, and I'm not pronouncing that because it's way too close to the real bad word. Okay. Now, in a lot of Belgium, that word is not accepted anymore as like acceptable. All right. But it's
like just for the algorithm, Derek, next time you say the first word, you probably should just say it in the Spanish accent for the color black.
Hell no, I'm not saying anything near that
negro.
word. No, I'm not saying that either anymore.
You said it first time.
Yeah, but it's a historical word. That was something I've met older African Americans who still want to be called that word. They're like, so I don't know what to do about that. And this is the Spanish word for black. And then the other word in Dutch, which is what Dante speaks, is also, it's the word for black. And it's also not, I talked to some people who speak Dutch and from Belgium, and they just told me, yeah, it's kind of a question. We got to talk about it. It's a questionable word to use any way you slice it, because in most of Belgium, that word, as well as the word he said, are also not acceptable words in most of Belgium to say. So there you go.
So you're saying it's a word that's used, but it's not acceptable word.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah.
Although in rare cases, apparently, in rare places, I guess it is. But
Jesse Marsch is trying to get you canceled. It says, clip it.
Plain fact of the matter is that whatever he said, if it were close to the actual word that everybody thought he said he probably shouldn't have said it, and somebody should have warned him when he got there. Hey, there's certain words you can't say here, buddy, and one of them is anything that sounds like this word.
Do you think there's a list as they get off the plane, like, welcome to America? Here's a list of words you shall not say.
Well, I mean, there's.
I think it's universally known that you shouldn't say anything like that.
I don't think it is. I remember there was a case with the tall guy from Australia who played basketball, and he made some sort of reference to whatever.
Australia he plays basketball?
Yeah, he was in the NBA, and he made some joke about some guy who was, I don't know. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm just going to say his excuse was, oh, I didn't know that was a thing here in the United States. I'm sorry I said it. My bad. And his whole team forgave him. They're like, okay, we get it. You're an idiot. There are hardly that many black people in Australia. We get it. You've never heard those terms before. But hey, learn a lesson. So there you go. This is such a lame excuse, Derek. Why is he mentioning color at all? Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. And I don't know why it came up. I mean, even if you're using the old-fashioned word in Dutch for that still doesn't make any sense. Why are you using that word? Because it's not supposed to be about the black guy and the white guy and the brown guy. It's just we're all here playing soccer. There's no reason to point at the dude and say the word, which sounds very close to the bad word. And maybe we're gonna hear it come out. That's what I've been told. So just look for this. That is what's going to come out. He is going to say, I said the Dutch word, which sounds very close to I'm still not buying that and he pointed out as a legitimate thing.
When Jackie D says he admitted to saying something, but no one knows what.
Well, I just told you what it was.
Sure.
And it is a word in Dutch for the old English and Spanish word for negro. And in their country, it is spelled neger in Dutch. And guess how that's pronounced? It's very similar to the bad word. Very
before we
bad
get to
word.
the super chat, here we go. Hansa says he reads Dutch, or he speaks Dutch.
So
and he says it depends on the
context. That's what I was told that too, by the way. But they did say in any context in this situation, it would not be good, unless he was referring. I don't know how he could have referred to anything regarding someone's race. I'm trying to figure out. So I can't figure out.
Are we canceling Derek?
He's not going to get a pass. You can't cancel me. I haven't said anything.
Oh, there you go. Can't cancel Derek. He's uncancelable.
I would say so, and I didn't say anything. So, anyhow, Jesse Negron for $4.99. Thank you. It's the dude's name. All right.
Oh, okay, my bad.
All right. $4.99 says, thank you, brother. Random, but can you guys make an updated Sergeant Venn diagram at some point? Yeah, we might need to. Because now we got to add Balagun, right?
Yeah.
And there are things Balagun can do that Sergeant can't. And it's becoming a little evident here as we go forward and Norwich struggle to stay in the top 6, that there are still issues with Sergeant's, how do I say this? His ability to take over and dominate in a league where his skills and skill set and his build and his abilities should make him a regular scorer, even as a CAM in the championship. And that has just not been the case. They did manage to, tie today? They played again today. They played on Friday. They won that game, not because of Josh Sargent. And then they played again today on Monday and they tied. So they're still stuck in 7th. So, but yeah, we can make a new Venn diagram. It's got to involve some other people, but yeah, we can remove Ferrero from that Venn diagram. Read Jesse's last name, Derek. I just did. Negron. All right.
So that's gonna be a thing now.
We took a very serious topic, folks.
Yeah, we did. That's what we do.
That needs to be discussed because that was now the whole horrible thing for New York Red Bulls is their website is still completely tone deaf, even though they put out an announcement that said, "Hey, this is being investigated, and if you said this, then we don't condone it. We say it's horrible." And yet, the second article on the right side is all about his first game. Announcing this is going to be his first start in that game where he ended up saying that. You might want to probably move that down the list a little on the right column on the website because everybody knows who said it at this point. And it's just a matter of investigating what he said, what he meant. And I don't think it's going to turn out well. However you scrape it, the scab is, underneath, it's going to be bad. All right. It's just not a funny thing, I guess. It could be, but not here right now.
Well, you know what is a funny thing?
What?
When you told me that we were going to cover this topic.
Is sex better with lubricant? What women want. Honestly, folks, and I know we got our balls busted for this before because we were doing the Vaseline and the KY jelly commercials. And some guys like, yeah, that's because you couldn't get the girls hot enough, so you had to use the KY because they were all dry and stuff. That's not what we were talking about at all, you moron. No, of course I'm not going to use it if I don't need to use it. It wasn't for those particular parts. All right. I haven't really had a problem. Brett, you can vouch for yourself, but that particular area on this scene, that is a really unbelievable little photo they used there for that.
Purposely done. And I think I believe she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, I'm sure. What she's going to say is it's, an overuse of lubricant for this particular area of the woman's body, we'll call it the flower area, is probably absolutely unnecessary unless they've got a medical issue that requires it. Otherwise, I mean, if you're fucking something that's that dry and they don't have a medical issue, then you've done very bad foreplay, I guess.
So John uses propane.
Propane?
Adam
What?
Wiggins uses mayonnaise. We got Tabasco.
You guys you're all fucked up. That can't be good for anybody. Mayonnaise. That's just disgusting. I know it's a joke, but boy, is that the visual of it. It's disgusting.
The funniest part about all of this is that without knowing that we were going to cover this, Chris Gary basically told everybody, hey, come to our show for a specific topic. And this is before I even mentioned what our show topic is going to be or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, spot on. Check this out.
Man breaks penis performing world's most dangerous sex position. What is that? What is the most dangerous sex position?
Apparently it's a limp banana.
It
Is that a banana? It's not banana. What is that?
Zucchini? Looks like a rotten zucchini.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Circumcised. Look at it. You tell.
Well, somebody did some artwork there on that. I don't know.
I did not dig into the actual article to find out what it was.
I don't know what the world's most dangerous position would be.
You lay on your back and you spin it around like a top or something?
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
That seems pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I think you want to keep it pretty
Ooh,
steady.
The Amazon. It is dangerous.
I don't even know what that is. That's not in the Kama Sutra. It's definitely not in the Kama Sutra. I've never heard of the Amazon.
When you get off the show tonight, just Google Amazon sex position.
I don't know if I should.
Should.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to actual other show topics.
All right. So Adam asked us earlier if we were going to talk about the Robertson issue.
Oh, I mean we can.
We are.
So the ref elbowed him in the face. By the way, tonight I am drinking a Berry Monkey Triple Belgian from Victory. The berry's very subtle on this. It just tastes like a Belgian triple with a little bit of berry. Not a lot. All right. And unlike that other moron we had on the show, I can pour a beer.
Anyways.
All right. I thought you were going to bring it up.
So yeah, I'm going to. We were talking, so I was you have more of the screen showing what you're showing.
All right.
So Lawless got brought into the whole topic about whether or not the referee was at fault or if it was Robertson, etc.
Yeah.
So my brief viewing of it on Easter Sunday on my phone, it appeared to me that at halftime the ref was running, towards locker rooms. Robertson came to confront him. He kept running. Robertson looked to grab his arm, or at least pull him back a bit. And the ref flung his elbow back, making contact to his chin. Yeah. Don't touch the ref. Just don't. Fuck off. Give him some distance. If you want to bitch, but give him some distance. Don't touch him.
As soon as you grab my arm, I have the right to fling whatever you grabbed it with off.
Yeah.
And if it means that I smack you in the face, too bad, bitch. I see it as the referee. Well, okay. I got to do it like Alexi.
Yeah.
I see it as the referee attempting to ignore the player berating him and diffuse the situation by walking on. But then the player physically leans into him as he passes, at which point referee instinctively raises his elbow in effort to deflect, protect, and separate himself. Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Alexi.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad even, really.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, well, the referee shouldn't have reacted at all. I'm like, well, again, he like nudged or pulled back on the arm slightly. Enough to reel back,
Shouldn't react at all. What, he's not a fucking human being? You grab me, I'm going to be like, get the fuck off of me. Why are you grabbing me, bitch? You're invading my fucking space. Don't touch me. If I don't want you to touch me. You need my fucking approval to touch me, motherfucker. You understand that?
His reaction after he got elbowed in the face was priceless. He's just like,
it's like the more
clutching his pearls, like I just got hit.
It's like the recent Harry Kane smack in the face. He went down like a fucking card, a stack of cards. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything in this. If you're going to ask me, is this something? I'm going to say no. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger.
In fact, I think the league should come down and say, dude, don't touch the ref next time.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. Yeah. Should not penalize the ref. This should all move on. Lesson learned. Don't touch the referee.
Right.
You can bitch out the referee because I know for a fact that a lot of refs tend to suck world.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, bitch them out. Constantly say you have gunk in your eye. What's happening? But don't touch ref.
Are refs not human? Do they not bleed?
Do they not bleed? Like Derek, apparently.
Yes.
We know Derek's human, or he's just
And let's be really clear.
Is that really blood?
Let's be really clear. Bleeding out of my nose and not anywhere else. All right. Where else we got? I'm moving on from this one. This one is a nothing burger to me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what EPL does though.
Yeah.
All right. But
isn't it really the Referees Association?
Fair enough, I guess.
I think they're the ones who are going to probably stick up for him, but
I gotta stop sharing because I need to get some audio in here. There's a video clip going around of a Sporting Kansas City fan just livid at the 68th minute. Sporting goes down against the Rapids.
Sporting are awful.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the 2-minute video here.
They're really bad.
So I felt like this is fun to do. Let's bring this up.
They're like LA Galaxy bad.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, somebody in the chat talked about this. Like next week when LA Galaxy and Sporting go down, I'm going to have to make a video just like this.
All right, play it. Let's see it.
Anyways, all right. Share this audio. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you've got headphones, you may want to turn the volume down a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, I'm ready.
Went from my audio down just a little bit.
Fuck! Are you fucking kidding me? We are playing the worst fucking team in the fucking league. What the fuck are we doing? How can you watch this fucking league when teams suck this fucking bad? First, it should have been a fucking corner. Or if that corner happened,
I'm going to pause it just in case. I don't think he's going to claim us by any means.
No, I don't think so.
I just want to do that just to play it safe here, okay?
Yeah, I don't think he has a bunch of bots out making sure people aren't using this video. Like those other fucking corporate pricks.
Yeah.
fucking ball wouldn't be in the net. Two, how the fuck do we look this bad? How the fuck do we look this bad? Always. How are players this fucking awful? Professional players. You get millions of dollars. You don't fucking score a goal. I have seen my fucking club go to the second division, and I've never been this mad. And
Jesus Christ. This guy is really mad. Yeah. I like it. I like it. I like the passion. I like his mustache.
It's funny.
It kind of goes with his sort of douchey anger, you know?
Yeah. That's 27 as it goes. You got Graham Zusi starting. That's why you're bad.
Yeah. Part of it. Graham Zusi should probably look into retirement soon. But he looks to be petering out. His career seems to... He's old, isn't he? What is Graham Zusi?
40? Be like 36.
34, 35?
Somewhere in that range.
I bet he's younger than 36, isn't he?
Apparently, this cat is, in fact, a Sporting Kansas City content creator. So he does ship week in, week out for Sporting. He does go into talking about this in a second, too. And he talks about all the other pundits and all the other Sporting Kansas City content creators that call fans who are pissed off, more or less toxic. I'm just paraphrasing here, of course.
Oh, this guy's not toxic at all. He's just really pissed. It's okay. We all have a bad day where we're just sick of it, Yeah. Thanks, Frank. We appreciate it. Hey, I saw you on there on the show with Pete yesterday. We all I always like it when I go places and there are people I know. It's nice. It's like Cheers.
I was going to say the exact same thing, where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, and I know all their names too, which is really cool. Frank Kassler, 199. Thanks, brother. Karma for Vermes blowing off USSF. I don't know if we should blame him for blowing off Sportsology. Frankly, Sportsology is a clown show made up of clowns, made up of fucking suits, made up of people who sort of sucked and bucked their way to the top. And they're mostly NFL people. Yeah, okay, they got some soccer stuff in there, but and they go around giving these presentations about leadership and building a great team and how that's done. But they're really a bunch of corporate pricks. And if I were Vermes and I had the experience he had, I wouldn't want to be examined by those fucking fake ass bitches either. They should already know whether or not he is goddamn qualified.
Peter, we are looking for a yes man. Are you in fact a yes man? No? Sorry.
Well, he didn't even go for the interview. Vermes said, I'm not going in. I'm not talking to those guys.
The caller ID comes up Sportsology. He's like, fuck.
Yeah. Now
Okay, fine. Hi, guys.
Now you sound like Roy Kent. Fuck. The funny thing about that is that whole character is based on Roy Keane. Just like the new guy that shows up for the team, his name is Zava, is based on Zlatan. So if you haven't got the Zava yet, I guess that's season 3. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. All right, keep going. You gonna keep going on this?
Absolutely.
I love you, man. I fucking love yelling.
Let's get. I'm watching this. I'm thinking to myself. I'm already feeling my voice give out. I'm like, oh my god, man, my voice would be, cracked at the end of that, man. Just
no, dude.
Vocal cords out.
I'd have a heart attack if I were this excited.
And we're at fucking home, boludos. We are at fucking home. I'd rather fucking stream 8 hours of baseball. Fucking shitty Royals I'd rather watch. The fans, they pay so much money. People take the time out of their day to fucking watch a team play. I fucking sit through every week preparing for the stream, fucking making dumbass, stupid fucking memes for the team, trying to grow fan engagement for this fucking team. And they always let us down. Why? There's kids at this game that are sick. Okay? There's kids that have, disease and they're in pain. And you know what makes them look forward to the fucking end of the week or their month or whatever is to watch this club play. Another thing, every fucking stupid Sporting Kansas City podcast every week shit on fans for being mad. Man. You guys just need to suck it up. I'm sorry, I like enjoying my team. What the fuck do you like watching? Are you even a fan of the sport? What do you watch, dog? I just have a good time. They tried. They put all their wit in. I don't.
We've all heard that, haven't we? We it doesn't matter how bad they're sucking. We just go there and support the team.
Yeah, it's like you drive by someone's yard and I'm a proud SKC supporter, and you're like, what is there to be proud of?
Yeah,
really, what is there to be proud of? And by the way, I drive through some neighborhoods around where I work, and you'll see signs like "I'm a proud Republican" or "I'm a proud Democrat," and I always think, what the fuck do you have to be proud about? Both of you fucking suck dick. Both of you fucking suck dick. Anyhow, not going to get into that.
I'll say that ends the political portion of our show.
I'm just saying there's nothing to be proud of. That's pushing it. Don't you think so? I think it is. So being a proud SKC fan, yeah, and telling other people you're not allowed to fucking have a bad moment or call the team out for being what it is, a sack of shit. Because that's what it is this season.
Well, and that's what most people who are retweeting this video are basically saying is that we need more people like this where when the team is playing poorly, you're calling the team out for playing poorly. It's not just like, well, Chicago's going on their 12th year without a postseason appearance, and we're just like, don't worry, guys, we'll get them next year.
I will also say this guy needs some sun, something serious. He should be in a fucking vampire flick. He needs some fucking sun, some fucking vitamin D. That actually might help his fucking attitude a little. I mean,
you might try it out for the new Renfield spot.
Look how white he is. It's unbelievable. He's whiter than you, Brett. And just look at the difference.
That's just the light. That's just like I'm quite pink.
But look at the difference in even our color. Like, I'm definitely not as white as you. I'm not even close. But this guy is so white, he makes you look like
my family's further up on the longitudes, you know?
This guy makes you look Italian. That's what this guy makes you look Italian.
Yeah.
Or Spanish.
I married into that family, don't worry.
It's the whitest man I've ever seen. He needs some sun. And maybe you should go to the home games in person and get some sunlight. And then maybe he wouldn't be such in a bad mood. But I do love his passion. I love it. I love that he's mad. I think that's cool. I'm going to turn on comments. Just why not?
We're gonna finish this out.
I don't want to hear your dumbass, stupid podcast about the fucking, the team is going to do better. The team, you know what? You know what's going to do better? Then the other guy goes, oh, you know what? We're looking pretty bad, but honestly, I think we're gonna do fine because this crap doesn't happen in anywhere else in the world. If you do that anywhere else in the world, they fuck you off a bridge in South America. You said some dumb shit like that. 7 weeks without a win. 7 weeks, it should be illegal.
I don't know if he cut some word out there, but it sounded like he said they fuck you off of a bridge. I think it maybe fucking throw you off of a bridge, but maybe
remove the
throw. If you remove the throw, they fuck you off a bridge. Just adds a little bit more to it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I like all everybody in the chat saying, "I'm a Whig, I'm a Tory." Hey man, bring whatever back at this point. All right, it'll be better than the Uniparty that we currently have. Might as well be a unibrow. All right, we're not going to get into that because that's for a different show. We'll start 10 years from now when we're old and we don't care, and we're just
once our show's big enough that it can be canceled. Right?
Yeah,
right. That happens, right?
Really, honestly, Brett, if we were really honest and talked about what disgusts us, I think most people would agree with us. But we're not getting into it. I mean, you guys kind of get an idea what disgusts us. So but we're not, you can't fit us in a category. Can't fit us in a category. Sorry. We won't get into. All right, what else we got? What's next?
It's Derek's favorite segment of the show.
No, it's not.
We're going to talk about some transfer news.
It's definitely not my favorite. Club Brugge is still looking for a new club for Owen Otasowie.
Now, you might think that might be a misquote, but I went into the article and translated it. It legitimately says that.
Of course, they've been looking for a new club for him.
Anybody just take him, please, for the love of God.
Since the second stint of disappearing that he did. So he had one. You remember the one he went back for the modeling? Then he did it again. All right? Disappeared. So he's been disappeared twice. He's come back. They've sent him down to Club Brugge 2, where they played him 4 times with the boys, the little boys, since October, which I think they've had more games than that. So obviously not getting much playing time there. But basically, they're just trying to burn some time. If Club Brugge thinks they're going to be able to sell Owen Otasowie to anyone but a 4th division team in England for like $1.90.
4th division in Finland.
They are kidding themselves. Yes, Finland, fucking Liechtenstein.
Wow, there we go.
So Otasowie at least Jamie Tart came back and became a half decent human fucking being and contributed to the team.
At least Jamie Tart is a talented player.
Yeah, and
I would like to say I could say that about Owen, but I haven't actually seen him play.
You know who Otasowie is? Jamie Tart's dad. That's the problem. He's a young player, but he's really lost his way completely, and they're not going to be able to sell him to anybody. Nobody wants this guy's untouchable at this point. All right, Conrad better look over his shoulder because you don't want to become this untouchable where it is so well known about your behavior, your attitude, your selfishness, your inability to really go for it or give a fuck or give 2 fucks. Certainly no more than 2 fucks, and I just, it's sad. It's a sad fucking story, but if they really want to get rid of him, they need to bring him up to Club Brugge, the big boy team, and just give him a fucking couple games to make it look like he's still worth buying. But at this point, it's over. Odasawi is done.
I think the problem is they're looking to offload him to another team to be their water boy or kit manager or something like that. But even other teams are going like, I don't want that there. Are you kidding me?
No. I mean, the sad thing is Odasawi's ruined this for himself. And I mean, it's really a sad thing to see because you could see some talent there when he was at Wolves.
It's just fascinating to see a player amount to enough to get to Europe to play at an EPL side / then off to Bruges, but to do all that, put in all that effort just to fuck it up. It's God. When you get there, if you don't just bust your ass, you're doing it wrong.
It's the worst self-immolation metaphor. By the way, that's a metaphor I've seen. Who's done it worse? I mean, Soto's up there, but at least Soto started and played and scored this weekend for Klagenfurt.
Well, I mean, Soto's at least going to these teams, and at least he may not have the mental fortitude, or he's a problem child there, but at least he's putting in the effort. He's not trying to do something else or just vacantly leaving randomly,
Yeah,
so, I got to put him above him.
Ramiro asks, who else has Odasawi in their 2026 World Cup roster? If you have him in your 2026 World Cup roster, you are very high.
Dude, there was even a time
on something.
There was even a time at Bruges where he was coming back and playing at least a little bit of was it center back or was it outside back?
One game for Bruges.
It was enough. It was enough that
he played the first game of the season.
Yeah.
He played the first game of the season. That was it. It was over after that. Yeah, it's too bad. Maybe he fixes it somehow. I just don't know how.
It's done. Don't even need to bring him up at all at this point. I mean, he'll be lucky to crack USL squad at this point.
Yeah, and we'll get it, Jackie D. We'll get into Hoppy. Yeah, very poor weekend for him, as in not getting off the bench at all. And we'll just get it over with. Hoppy didn't play. He rode Pine for 90 for fucking Hibernian. And at this point, something's got to change. I mean, I hate to say much at this point because I don't want to offend anybody that I know, but Hoppy is just not, there's something wrong. There is something wrong going on for him to now be riding Pine at Hibernian. Like, they should be fucking happy as fuck that he's there. He should start every fucking game, and he should be scoring goals, and he's not. Now he's riding Pine. And by the way, Hibernian had 3 attacking players subbed in before they didn't even touch Hoppy. They subbed in 3 players, an attacking midfielder, a left winger, and a right winger, all of which Hoppy can play, ahead of Hoppy at Hibernian this weekend. Catastrophe. Something's not right. And I think at some point you need to start looking in the mirror, right, Brett? I mean, if let's say you get fired 5 jobs in a row after 8 months at each of the jobs, shouldn't you kind of take a look on the mirror and go, why do I keep getting fired? What's wrong? It is because, like, the first 2 times you might go, oh, it's their fault. They're fucking stupid. Yeah. But after the 3rd time and the 4th time, you might have to look in the mirror and go, maybe I'm fucking stupid.
And without knowing, obviously, I don't have any connections to the family, but he went.
Hibernian. He's right, by the way.
He went from playing for a Bundesliga team where he played for like the entire second half of the season. They got relegated. He went to a club. At that point, it's just been nonstop, barely finding the field at all, anytime. So I almost wonder if there's a mental aspect to it where he's going in and he's thinking he's better than what he is. I don't know.
No, I mean, there was something there at one point. I don't know where it went. Anonymity says, does Derek have a speech impediment? Only about this time of night. Yes, I do. Yeah.
All right. While we're off that topic, let's move to the next transfer news.
That's the Augsburg GM claiming there's no interest in Ricardo Pepi. Fabrizio Romano says there's interest from PSV, Feyenoord, and others. This is likely to drag on through the end of the summer transfer window if a big offer doesn't come soon. FC Augsburg's GM claiming there's no interest in Ricardo Pepi. Fuck him. What a dick. Why would he say that?
No, there's no interest from other teams, is what he's saying, right?
No, that's a fucking A, it's bullshit. And B, that's a horrible thing to say about a player that you might have to sell.
So could it be a comment in that sense where he's like maybe PSV comes out, hey, we'll offer you $6 million for the transfer, and the GM saying, nah, there's no real interest. That's not a real offer. It's no real interest. That type of thing. Could it be that kind of a loss in translation type of comment?
I don't think so.
I mean, it would be insane to say that there's no interest. I mean,
That's what he said.
I would imagine there are plenty of teams that would be interested, but the price tag alone is what's off-putting, which is why I'm saying maybe there's not even a loss of translation, but basically him saying that's not a real offer, so nobody's interested.
No, because there are words in German for the word serious and real, right?
Well,
so, I mean, if he said, I'm guessing this is a direct quote, direct translation. There are words.
But the facts are clear, and there have been no inquiries, let alone offers, for him so far.
Yeah, that's bullshit. So a sale's currently not an issue. As always, we would deal with the specific and adequate offers. That's not good either if you're Augsburg and Pepe's already said he doesn't want to come back.
Yeah. Could the PSV and Feyenoord be an issue where it's where our normal transfer news segments where they're interested, they're keeping eyes on him, and there has been officially no offers. Maybe there hasn't been. Maybe there is quote unquote no interest.
No, there's interest. I don't know
So I said quote unquote.
if there have been offers. That's sort of a different thing, right? Offers. This would be way too early for an offer right now. But
so
yeah,
I guess looking at that specific quote, the paraphrase is up here where he says that there's no interest. But in that quote, there is actually no actual word interest used. So,
FC Augsburg GM claiming there is no interest in Ricardo Pepi. The sale, therefore, blah, 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 blah. As always, we would deal with specific and adequate offers. But he's still saying there's no interest.
You paraphrasing, yes.
No. First
but he doesn't
sentence.
actually say there's no interest.
Nope. First sentence. FC Augsburg GM claiming there's no interest in Ricardo Pepi.
No. This is state of football paraphrasing the quote. So this is the quote, and he's saying there's no interest, is what he's saying. He's paraphrasing what the actual quote says.
Okay, then he paraphrased poorly.
Well, yeah. He basically the GM doesn't specify that there's no interest. There's been no inquiries, let alone offers so far. So you can interpret that as saying there's no interest.
Of course, there are not going to be any inquiries or offers yet. It's too early. Those are going to come down the line. So to paraphrase it in that sense, I would say that that's a bad paraphrasing. No interest does not reflect what he said. So, yeah, bad paraphrasing. That's all. State of football.
Yeah. And you brought up the point that I was going to bring up where Pepe has come out and flat out say that he doesn't want to go back.
He is saying he doesn't want to go back, and I get it. A lot of people don't want him to go back. I know TAC was saying, oh, no, that's football terrorism. I don't want him to go play at Augsburg. But, I mean, if he's going to play and get a lot of minutes and get an opportunity in Germany to do something, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say never. I would say, hey, talk to me about how you're going to use me next season. Am I going to get to play? Or maybe he's just pissed by the behavior because I hear that there were 2 meetings set up with officials at Augsburg throughout this season when he's been playing at Groningen, and they were both no-shows for the meetings. So maybe he's just pissed at them and he thinks they're fucking dicks. And maybe his agent, who was at the meeting waiting for the meeting to happen, that didn't happen, is pissed off too. So you got a pissed off player and a pissed off agent.
Maybe he's just pissed off by getting pissed on at Augsburg.
But that was really early on. I'm sure he's forgotten that by now.
There's not enough water under that bridge.
I feel for Augsburg. My girlfriend can't finish either. Finish what? Herself or you? I mean, if you're selfish, then only one of those things matter. But if you're a good gentleman, then both of those things matter, right? Everybody's got to finish. That's what a good relationship's about. One thing Balogun will get if he chooses to commit to the United States men's national team is the understanding that he can pick his next club, and it likely won't have any impact on his selection. Milan, sure. Lille, why not? He won't have that luxury in England, Prem or out.
It's either Prem or out, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
So
after all those quotes about how he needs to go play in the Prem or else he can't be considered, which are ridiculous.
Yeah, so basically, Lille is very interested in him as a Jonathan David replacement. Milan has expressed interest, Monaco, etc. Basically, if he chooses the U.S., it doesn't really matter where he goes at that point. He can go anywhere that offers him the best contract and where he might have the best chance of playing. But if he picks England, it's got to be Premier League at this point or not.
Fuck them.
But he's loaned out, so he's going to go back to Arsenal regardless at this point until they do whatever.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. When any of the English managers start talking about and the pundits start talking about, well, he's not even played in the Premier League yet. How good do we know he is? Fuck off, dickheads. Fuck off. Don't even look at your league right now. Some of the best teams have bought some of the best players in the world, and those teams suck. Chelsea is so fucking bad. So bad. It's impossible to watch those games. And Pulisic, by the way, was bad right along with everybody else on that team this weekend. Ugh. So arrogance about your league. I'm sorry.
When everybody's playing bad, everybody's playing bad.
I mean, just to say that a guy who's in the top, 3 scoring, maybe he moved up to 2. I don't even know.
Competing, and it's back and forth. They're separated by like one to 2 goals between those 3 spots.
He's competing for the Golden Boot in France.
Yeah.
Like, you're basically telling me that's like wearing a tiny slipper in Liechtenstein? Is that what you're telling me, Southgate? I'm afraid you are very wrong.
Judge it against players who are doing pretty good in the English Premier League. Well, then I'm not trying to tell them what to do, and I definitely don't want to lose the opportunity of bringing Balogun to the U.S. But at that point, you just bring him in.
Yeah,
you bring him in and judge him. Guess what? All those other fuckers that you mentioned, did they get playing time in this window? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. What would have hurt? What would have hurt if one of those players did not go and Balogun went instead?
Oh, I'm so sorry for Southgate that Balogun hasn't outscored Mbappe this season. Oh, wow. I'm sorry he hasn't been able to do that. He's only playing on PSG with some of the best players in France, and he can't outscore Mbappe. So I guess until he can, he's not good enough for the English fucking national team. Well, I'm glad they're that arrogant because they're just driving him right into our clutches.
Or like, we respect all of your goals you've scored in France. You've done a great job. Keep it up. You're competing with the Dutch and championship at this point. So
yep. All right.
Maybe a bit of Germany there too if Pepe or Pivok manages to wow Hudson at some point.
I don't think Pivok's going to score again this season. I think he had it all loaded up and he shot his load, and now it's all gone.
Should have spaced it out to space out the goodwill of scoring goals. Not just do it all at once.
Yeah, he needs some jizz revitalization because he's running load. Running low.
Running load.
Running low.
Roy was right.
He's running low. I'm sorry. He wish he was running a load, but he's not. Yeah, he can't score right now.
Well, and not really talking about a transfer here, but I felt like bringing up this not potential injury. It is in fact an injury. Zendejas has broken his nose.
Yep, he did break his nose.
He's trying to look at it right now. He's like, is it broken? I can't tell. Does it look broken to you?
Well, he could probably put on one of those masks. They're not going to do surgery right away. So he'll be, I don't know if he'll be up for call-ups or not, but he eventually should be fine. I don't know how bad the nose is broken. I mean, there's breaking your nose, and then there's like smash breaking your nose. So there are different categories of breaking your nose. So we'll see what happens. He's not going to do surgery, and
this point now
he'll probably wear a mask. So,
yeah,
there we go.
Kim
Somebody's
B,
got
if you
bingo.
you got bingo. Send it to me on Twitter, and I'll pull it up. Take a look. Make sure that you're not cheating. You'd be called out for cheating on the straight red card bingo.
Something like that. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Well, I've got a couple of conversations up here for.
You got Leeds to go.
Well, we'll get there. Yes, especially.
Okay.
But we got some Brooks and Hoffenheim.
Brooks. Okay, so 3 wins in a row for Matarazzo and Brooks. Anybody were wondering, Justin Che has been injured, so I don't think he'd play that much anyhow. But
So let's pull this one up, I guess, from Grant Tuberville.
It's
freaking. That
freaking.
first one out.
It's freaking hilarious. It's just Stuttgart fired Matarazzo only to have him lead Hoffenheim back from the brink to ensure that Stuttgart could possibly go down. Yeah. I mean, listen, Stuttgart
That's
made
a 5-point gap there now, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know what other decision they could make because Stuttgart has been getting away for years now with mediocre rosters and just asking whoever's the manager to somehow keep them up. And yeah, Matarazzo did it. And then he doesn't look like he was going to do it this season. So they got rid of him. So then he went to Hoffenheim, and Hoffenheim are now out of the bottom 3. But Stuttgart's still there. So we'll see how that goes.
9 points will do that. It'll take you out of that bottom 3. 100%.
But Brooks is back. Is he perfect? No. He's still having some moments.
Here's his last game stats. 90 minutes, 6 clearances. I mean, it was a good game. Looks just based off stats. I'm not saying that was.
No,
I mean, watch it.
It was a good game. The mistakes. The only thing that you got to worry about with Brooks is still the ball getting behind him and somebody outrunning him to the ball. But outside of that, he was fairly solid in this game. So I think Brooks is back.
It's funny. Somebody mentioned in the comment that was talking about like how Brooks, couldn't even crack it whenever it came to the USMNT national team over players like Long and Zimmerman. I'm joking around. It was Chris Carey that mentioned it, joking around. And I said, these are actually the same type of stats, like in even the foot mob rating, if you want to take that for what it is. But the foot mob rating and everything were the same type of ratings he was getting in that second half with Wolfsburg on his final season.
Yeah,
at the point where basically where Greg came out and said, and this is over the course of an entire cycle, basically just said, you know what, he's not fast enough for us.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he
said the same thing about Ream, and then he had to suck it up. I think somebody there, Nate's talking about having Ream and Brooks pair up, but they're really both two very left-footed center backs. Work out. So it'd be weird to see that happen. So it's going to be one or the other, but it would be nice to have a really good backup left center back for Tim Ream, who I still right now rate over Brooks, but Brooks is showing life. It's as if he has a respirator and he's come back to life. So we'll see. John Brooks and Matarazzo are saving Hoffenheim for relegation. Good to see. 4 from relegation. We love you, Sixers, but whoa, a little bit of attention to the
it was after a night of watching our show, and he's just posting stuff.
He's just fucking stoned out of his mind. He's like, blah, 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 blah,
Right. Those keyboards on your phone are really small, so I give it to him.
Now, somebody's saying if we play a back 3, you could go with Brooks playing the middle, Ream playing left, and
insert random right on the right. Yeah,
CCV.
Yeah,
CCV. I think right now. I think that's got to be the pick right now. All right.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right.
My door's been open for like the last 30 minutes because my dog opened the door and then left immediately. But anyways, Adam Wiggins says, any chance Hudson calls me Osgood for April? It's very possible. I mean, it's going to be pretty much an all MLS squad, except for I think he said like 4 or 5 players.
It just depends on whether or not Hudson gives a fuck about players that didn't get along with Greg, and it doesn't seem like he cares.
Yeah, I mean, but at that point, if you're thinking about center back options, he's obviously going to call in Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Long hasn't played much from what I've seen. I haven't really followed him, I guess. But
the new U.S. Soccer video on U.S. Soccer's YouTube page is the behind the crest whole thing for the El Salvador game.
Yeah.
And watching Hudson speak in front of the group of players is amazing because it doesn't make you want to puke. Kind of like when Greg used to do it. Like there's no fucking pontification. There's no I'm one-upping you with my fucking, schoolboy wisdom, which that's
my name has 3 G's in it.
Greg always thought he had wisdom. Well, remember the one game or the one World Cup I don't talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. So fucking what? What is this, some sort of fucking philosophical?
It's a falafel, right?
Is this some sort of philosophical magistry you're bringing to us here, Greg? You're going to tell, there's one, if you got to do good because you don't want to be like me. When you had that one World Cup you don't want to talk about.
You might make that second World Cup.
I mean, what a fucking total cunt. Unbelievable. All right. What do we got?
So apparently in that Hoffenheim game, Schalke brought in something like 10,000 fans. And oh boy, those 10,000 fans, that trek they had to make to the Hoffenheim home match.
Long
it was
trip.
Insane. Long trip. Super long. I feel bad for them. Here they are. It's like, just to give you an idea of the journey most will have made. 3 hours and 27 minutes is the fastest route.
Oh my God, it's so long.
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, how can anybody drive that long of a distance?
So long. 3 hours.
Man.
Oh my God. That's just unbelievable. What does he say? Bring it back up again. What is he? Schalke taking at least 10,000 to Hoffenheim for a 1930 kickoff on Sunday is insane. Just to give you an idea, the journey most will have made. Really? This is Archie. Seriously. Archie. Are you kidding me? 3 hours and 30 minutes? Look at that map. Look at that map. That's a joke. Right? What?
This is Indianapolis.
That's Chicago. Yeah. Oh my dear.
And that most of that 3.5 hours is getting stuck in 65 and I-94 split.
Well,
that's where most of that traffic is.
I'm probably
3.5 hours. Really? Oh no.
I'm probably guessing the traffic in Cologne is the problem there on the way there. So what a joke. What a joke. Do you know what Dorf means, by the way, Brett? Do you know why Dorf is at the end of so many town names like Dusseldorf?
No.
It means village.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Why not just call it village?
Something like that. No, it's just like here. So Hamburg, I believe a burg is a enclosed city. That's why they would call it with walls. So Hamburg, and we have burgs here, Pittsburgh, even though I don't believe Pittsburgh was ever a base or a enclosed fortress or anything like that. But yeah, they all have different things. So you got burgs, you got what's the end of there's another one. Trying to remember the old team that Alfredo Morales played for. But anyhow, you got burgs, you got Dorfs. There's another one too. I can't remember.
Chris Gary is asking if that's a pointless historical fact.
Most of it is.
He's asking for a bingo card. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Berg equals burger equals burger.
What? No, it does not. It's not how that works. There is another ending word that is very common in German, and my brain is just so.
Is it Heim?
No, but there is Heidenheim. That's a good example.
Hoffenheim.
I mean, that's really small. That's smaller than a village. Just
What
talking
does
about
Heim in
home.
mean? Home and what? I don't understand what that works in.
But there is another one, and I just can't think of it right now. So we can move on. Fuck it.
We are. We're moving on to Leeds. Let's talk about Leeds. Let's talk about Aaronson finally getting on the score sheet. Not score sheet per se, but the assist sheet, if you will.
Yeah,
That was pretty nice.
But Brett.
I mean, you could see the joy just exude from him. It could have been sweat, but it was joy. He's like, finally, I got an assist. So I've got 1 goal and 1 assist. He's probably got more than 1 assist, right? It's like 2 assists, maybe. But either way, he was happy. He was happy, and in Leeds went in that first half, just firing on all cylinders. Should have had 3 goals at least.
Before I shit on Aaronson, Ramiro Castano gets it right. Alfredo Moraes was at Ingolstadt. There are lots of towns or cities or whatever you want to call it that end in Stadt. And that, again, is another word for, it isn't village. I think it's city, state. City, state. I don't know. We'll see. I can't remember right now.
It's actually pronounced state.
And then, and then he's like, I hate Derek's German. I don't speak German on this show.
It's probably when you bring up the German accent,
Oh, that's what he hates. He
Maybe.
hates my German accent. All right. Yeah. Okay. So Aaronson did fine. He did a corner kick. He had a decent first half. It's almost everybody.
Decent.
Did.
Foot Mob has him as the best on the team.
Okay. Well, that's fine. In the first half.
That's his full time, man.
Well, I don't know how anybody could be green or get a green score after that second half, because that was the most atrocious thing I've ever watched.
Bamford should get a green score just because he finally scored a goal. No, I'm joking here. This is me just pushing Bamford down.
I mean, it was a great goal. It was a great cross. If the second half would have been like the first half, all these guys would have been green, but something happened. Like they gave up the goal right before half, and then
they forgot how to play for 25 minutes.
My beloved one of my favorite coaches of all time for Crystal Palace, the old man himself, leading Crystal Palace in the game, must have said to them at halftime, all we're going to do...
Get your shit together.
No. He said, hey, you know that guy Ailing? Let's just go at him the rest of the game.
But I mean, if you look at the stats here, just the ratings, it looks more like it was right through here.
Some of it was.
All the assists came from this side of the field.
But let's be really honest. All the teams are targeting the left-hand side against Ailing. That's what everything is. And then, yes. Harrison stopped coming back to help McKennie in the second half at all. Like, Harrison disappeared. Like, he was... When you're playing a 4-2-3-1, the 3 in that have to come back and help. They have to come back and help and play defense.
So
otherwise, you get outnumbered in the midfield completely. And that's what happened.
Tack brought up a fun point. He goes, when Adams gets back, Leeds should absolutely replace Ailing with Adams as right back. And then I responded to him saying, I'm not sure if Tack is actually agreeing with Berhalter actually playing Adams as a right back, or the fact that he thinks that he could beat out, or Ailing and Christensen should just accept it and just let Adams take their place. Because I think an orange traffic cone might be just as efficient, quite frankly, on that side.
I mean, what's really sad is how poorly Christensen plays as a right back. Because let's be clear, when they brought him in, that's really not, he's a right winger or a right midfielder. They're playing him at right back. He can play center, defensive midfielder too, but this is just not his thing. And it's very clear it's not his thing. And they brought him in this game and played him at left back, which got to be worse than playing him at right back even. But you had to because Firpo had the injury, right? So I heard Roca and McKennie fought at halftime. I mean, we'll ask 29. I don't know if that's true. I have no idea. And Roca got into with Ailing as well. I mean, I don't know if you guys are just making shit up. So, I mean, Jesse, I mean, how would you know those things?
Tom said too, not confirmed, but allegedly some players got into it. So
at
clearly, yeah. Jesse just confirmed it.
Well, we'll talk to some connections we have and see what we get. But I don't know why at halftime they would get into it, because they played a really good half and they just gave up a stupid goal.
Man,
And
Diego's been pushing some of the buttons of some Leeds United fans. Basically, he was like, "Yeah, McKinney's just waiting." At this point, I'm paraphrasing a lot of stuff here, but he's like, McKinney's just playing out the rest of the season and just waiting to jump ship.
He went public with that comment?
Kind of. Again, I'm paraphrasing. It's not 100% of what he says.
Why would he do that? That would be a bad thing to go public with.
Let me pull it up and take a look. So you keep talking about the game.
Well, anyhow, I mean, we get into the second half and it's just a complete fucking disaster, and it looked like they just gave up. Okay, but they didn't, right? So they were down 2-1, and then they pushed forward and they made countering even easier for Crystal Palace. And that's why we got 2 more ridiculous goals, or 3 more, excuse me, because Leeds were pushing. Even at 3-1, they're like, okay, we got to throw as many people forward as possible, leaving the back at this point 2 most of the time, sometimes 3 at best, just totally exposed to counterattacks. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised that it got to 5-1 once they got down, because they just totally exposed themselves for the counter going forward. And by the way, Crystal Palace were doing really quick passing to get out of whatever, because how we Leeds likes to kind of cut off the angles, cut down the space, and cut off the channels. And you can do that when guys fiddle fuck around with the ball too long. Well, Crystal Palace were not fiddle fucking around with the ball. It was boom, 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 pass, boom, bam, goal. And so that's what we ended up with. So I don't know where you're getting that info. Okay. I don't remember 29 ever saying that.
No. He's got it. So it started with this. He retweeted this and he's been commenting on it. But it says, honestly, Leeds fans are a disgustingly run club. First, they used Jesse to bring in West and making promises and then sack him the next game. Now, in their biggest loss, they're sending a lone player out to handle the press. Fuck Leeds. I hope they get relegated and the Americans dip. So there's a big back and forth from that, because he retweeted this and then they started going off on that response. So
I don't mind if he likes it, if he feels like that way, but I don't think that really says anything yet. And I don't want to get McKinney into any trouble, and I don't think that that's necessary. So I'm glad there's been no public statement like that from 29, because I don't think it's necessary. Just let McKinney play out the season. We'll decide what happens afterwards.
McKinney was said to not be happy with Ailing's play.
Who was? No one was. So, yeah, it's a sad fucking game. Now they're going to have to pull it all together. Who do they have next? Liverpool?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So,
that is not 29. That's somebody else. But he retweeted that the Balogun propaganda page and then expounded upon it. Basically.
Well, I mean, unless we have his expounding, I don't want to like. Just because you like something doesn't mean you like everything in the tweet. So I don't want to read too much into that. All right. So what else we got? I'm going to move on from Leeds because fuck them.
We're kind of sticking with Leeds when we talk about Marsch. Let's talk about Marsch.
Okay, Marsch. I can't figure out what the fuck's going on because they're opposing articles on this back and forth all day. It's definitely 100% over between Leicester and Jesse Marsch. The American manager will not become the new head coach. Yeah, okay. Deal almost collapsed yesterday and is now off, but that doesn't tell us anything about why. Nothing. No. But there were opposing views going on within the English press about why. Some people say it's because they didn't want to give Jesse a longer-term deal. Some people say, yes, they did give him a longer-term deal. They were willing to accept the fact that if they went down, he was still going to coach in the championship for them. Other people saying Jesse wants to really coach for the U.S. men's national team. So, he let the conversation happen. But really, in the end, since it wasn't exactly what he wanted, he left. Other people are saying Jesse went in and said, well, I don't think you really understand how I would like to play. And so because you're not really into the way I want to play, especially if we go down, I don't think we have the right players for the way I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I don't know what to believe anymore. I've read 5, 6 different articles, all with different reasons, which means to believe I don't think anybody knows what they're fucking talking about. They're all just guessing.
I guess the big concern for Jesse at this point would be, as a manager at the higher level, would be you're successful in Austria. You went to Germany, you failed. Then you went to England, you succeeded, but then you failed.
You saved Leeds from,
yeah, and then all of a sudden the very next team is likely going to get relegated regardless of what you pretty much do at that point. So it's going to be just like fail. And it's possible maybe he's looking at this going like, I don't want a short-term agreement, because if I have all these fails on my resume, especially at the very end here, then getting another actual opportunity might be hard-hitting.
I mean, seriously, you really want to take the Southampton job?
No, I wouldn't imagine you would want to.
That looks like getting jobbed. That's what that is. And I wouldn't want to take that job because there's no way you're going to be able to save them at this point. And Leicester, I mean, at least looking at that lineup and roster, you're like, there's hope, right? There's hope.
Only so many games left in the season, though. 8? Is there 8, really? Oh,
yeah.
Damn, never mind. Could have pulled it off.
Plenty of time. There's 24 points available.
So Tack jumps in and figures out one of 2 options. It's got to be the projects were not ideal, contract length, club situation, etc., or he really wants a U.S. job, or both.
I don't want him as the U.S. men's national team manager. I'm sorry, I don't.
I went the negging round, since maybe he's rejecting the lower EPL clubs to make himself more attractive to the other EPL clubs. There's a mystery there, as in, why is this Yank rejecting all these EPL sites? I must find out.
Yeah, I'm not there with you on that one.
No, of course not. I don't think negging's gonna work with these clubs. Come on.
No, he's lucky to even get another chance. He's lucky anybody wants to give him another chance.
This isn't like a 6th at the club. Come on, come down.
I mean, Leicester have some really good. They have a good roster. Like, you could figure out a way to get that team out of the relegation zone. Honestly, if you just put together a few decent games, get 9 points, you're probably out, right? Win 3 games out of the next 6, and you're out probably. Maybe get a couple of draws, throw a few draws in there, and you're out of the bottom 3, because Southampton have no fucking hope. They are done. And then some of those teams are just fucking wretched. So
one game. Let's say if he took over for Leicester for the next game, and he wins, that would automatically pull him out of relegation zone and push down Everton. And he'd be 1 point off Leeds at that point.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely doable.
And he's got a chance to stick it to Leeds too, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, that same situation with Southampton too, though.
So I just don't really know, and none of us really know what the real sticking point was. And we can make guesses all we want all day. The only thing I can guess is that maybe they're like, we just want to hire you to get out of this season. And then that's how long the contract's going to be. And that might have been the same offer from Southampton.
Yeah,
save us, and you save us, and you stay. Don't save us, and you're out. And if that's the deal, then yeah, that probably sucks. I don't know.
Leicester has 7 wins and 4 draws all year, and you think you can get 3 wins and a couple draws in 8 games?
I'm just saying, BMR. Listen, look at the fucking roster. Leicester should not be this bad. There is no way they should be this poor. Why are they this poor? And I know I just made this pseudo defense the other day of their former manager, but at the same time, look at the roster. It's just not a bad roster. They're good players on that team, and you should be able to work out a way to get out of the bottom 3 if you're Leicester. Out of the bottom 3. I'm not saying much more out of the bottom 3. Maybe they finished 17th, but get out of the bottom 3 for Christ's sake. Madison is class. I agree with that, Tom. I think he is class. they do have good players on that team. Jamie Vardy is still a good player. I know he's getting old, but I mean, he's a really solid fucking. Okay, maybe he's past his prime. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know, but I just look at the lineup and the roster on paper, and I say, well, that's a team that shouldn't even be in the bottom three. They shouldn't even be anywhere near it to begin with. So what's going on there? I agree.
Yeah, I'm thinking my take is what you were saying there, basically, in the sense that they're offering in the short term, like, we'll readdress this after the season's over. And he didn't want the unpredictability there. Maybe he really just wants to keep his name in the hat on people's minds as he accepts the U.S. men's national team job. Who knows?
God, I hope not. I hope he does not get the U.S. men's national team job. I really do think he's just another dogmatist. And I mean, we watched it. We watched it at Leeds, Brett. Is that what we want? We want another guy who's stuck to his system. Like it's all about him and his system. Is that what we really want? You want another guy like that? I don't. Sorry. And I was all pro Marsch when he got the Leeds job. And after I watched Leeds this season, like not last season. Last season, he said I didn't have time to put in my system. So I basically gave everybody sort of a loose framework and said, go out there and win the game. Well, how about doing that in your second season too? How about building a framework, but not injecting this ridiculous system where we don't use anything, we don't play wide. We're pretty much all going straight at the goal, and it's go, go, go. Change of possession, go. Change of possession, go, 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 go. No, like, okay, let's have some possession sometimes. We don't need to always just go, go, go. Sometimes it's good to have the ball, and when obviously going forward might not yield, there's like a 2% chance of anything coming of moving forward, then let's pull the ball back. Let's give ourselves some rest since we've been pressing like banshees now for the last 30 minutes. Let's have a chance to breathe, collect our thoughts, and let's build towards something. There's none of that in Jesse Ball. No building of anything. And then the final third is all Berhalter-like, except it's the opposite of Berhalter because it's so obvious what they're going to do. They're going to go straight at the goal, whereas Berhalter went wide and kicked it into the middle. It's the opposite, but it's the same thing because it's easy to defend because it is predictable. And that's what you don't want. You don't want predictable. There you go.
But I would say it's one thing to say that a manager at a club might, in fact, instill his system, whereas with the national team may have a different take. But that's speculation, of course.
Have I heard it from? I haven't heard it from his mouth, though.
I haven't heard anything from his mouth when it comes to the national team, outside the fact that he said he wasn't interested in going to the national team at this point.
Right.
So,
but
we have absolutely no idea how he would take the national team. But to your point, it's the lack of flexibility. It's the constant try. It's not like you weren't the top team. So they brought up whatever the high press, and they always talked about Leicester back in the day when Leicester was on top. Now, of course, they're at the bottom now, so it's a bad example to bring up. Mm-hmm. But they always use them as an example as a very systematic team. This system, but it worked for them until it didn't. Now, who knows? Leeds was never at that point. So, I mean, obviously, sticking to the system was the problem. Some games you would have to change up. Oddly enough, the games against the better teams where he stuck to his system were the better games to actually watch.
Yeah, because his system depends on the other team wanting to possess. Now, when you play against, and that's great because then the press works, right?
Yeah.
But if you're playing against a team that's just going to kick it over the midfield and the strikers and then the midfield and have the offensive players go one-on-one with your back four, then it's horrible. In most cases, you're back two because you're pressing so high. You don't even have
back one because at that point there's always one center back that was always problematic.
Right.
Match.
Yeah. Well, he didn't play anymore. So yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Vardy, he says, has been a starter for a lot of the year. Then Jesse Marsch says Vardy was benched. Come on, Jesse Marsch. You're taking Sargent over all of them. So anyhow,
This thumbnail where I said Jesse did nibble Leicester's
Carrot.
I really wanted to take the time and give him some like rabbit teeth and rabbit ears, but I didn't.
Well, you did a good job because it looks like he's got little rabbit things going on there.
Yeah.
You found the one photo of him with this kind of, I've got my rabbit teeth out. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Let's finish this baby up. What do we got?
All right. We're going through the Twitter questions here.
I turned the Leeds game on at 1-0. Sorry, guys. Oh, looks like Leeds are definitely better without Adams. If Adams played, it would have been 9-1. Oh, Chris. It may be. What if you've got Adams, McKenna?
He's being sarcastic.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you have to pay attention to the rest of Twitter, not just this specific comment. There's definitely contingent, and within our circles especially, that just hound on Adams left and right. Now, the big thing is that if you look back at the games where Adams didn't play, and you look how many goals were scored, and you look back at the handful of games prior to that where Adams did play, and there weren't that many goals. And I forgot somebody brought the stats, and it looks promising for Adams in that sense. But then a lot of people were bringing up like, well, do you want to possibly play with Adams and lose a bunch of 1-0 games, or play without Adams and win a couple games and then lose a couple big games, So
I'm just saying, if we're playing sort of in an optimal world, right, that your two holding midfielders are Roca and Adams, and you play McKennie as the CAM instead of that hapless little bugger named Aaronson. And I hate being so mean to Aaronson, but God, dude, I'm so sick of watching him play. He tries so hard, and he's not bringing it, dude. He's not bringing it. I'm glad he got an assist, and he had a decent first half. But God, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see McKennie play the CAM role.
So Aaronson puts in a lot of work in that central mid area, and he bypasses a couple players, and he'll make the pass off. But when you start getting into that final third is where it's just not there. It's just not there.
We've had this whole talk about once he gets near the box, right? He's all lubed up and ready to go.
I think somebody makes a comment about that earlier or later on. I think
once he gets near the box, he just gets nervous. He becomes a little nervous Purvis, and he can't figure out how to calm down and make a really good decision or a really good pass or take a really good shot. He's all a bundle of nerves. And, the opposition can sense that too. And I know they're playing because he is Mr. Bundle of Energy, because he will put out that effort like he did in the first half. And there are benefits to that. But after a while, if you're a Leeds fan, aren't you asking yourself that you spent $30 fucking million on this guy? And he's sort of a peripheral scorer and assister. And when I say peripheral, I mean 1 goal and 1 assist all fucking season. And you've been playing almost and starting almost the whole fucking season. It's got to be better than that. It's got to be. They paid $30 million, and I'm not even going to get started with Bruder. That looks like it's going to be a complete disaster and a complete fucking overspending and waste of money. Leeds have totally.
I feel like with Ruder in that sense, though, he's always thrown in the last 20 minutes, and it's like usually a catch-up play at that point, like bust your ass and try to do something.
He's got to start.
Prayer and a hope.
He's got a couple starts.
Sure, yes.
He didn't look that great in those either. So I don't know. I mean, you didn't pay as much for Christensen, but at least you didn't pay enough for him. Pay that much for him. You probably overspent for him, but look at him. Some weird ass goals he scored this season when he's come in, but other than that, he's broken.
The start of his season was fine, but then again, so was most of Leeds. Start of the season was fine, and then it just teetered off. And people were talking about it at the beginning of the season, like how long can they keep this going without running out of gas? And that's exactly what it seemed like. And then you had a couple of key injuries. I mean, Rodrigo that hurt. Who lost Somerville for a bit, Sinistera for a bit. Always hurts, but yeah. I mean, again,
God help me. Why is Bamford starting? Why? You got Rodrigo back. He's healthy. I know Rodrigo's got his own issues. But guess what Rodrigo does when he gets a chance
14
to?
goals. Is that like 14
fucking
plus goals right
scores. He doesn't even need lubrication. Just get him near the box, and he's in like Flynn. Bamford, you can set him up with all the KY you possibly could, and that dude couldn't figure out how to score. That goal this weekend, okay, great. But that's his, third goal all season?
Mm-hmm.
All fucking season. His third goal. How many goals has he blown? At least 20. Maybe 15 to 20 goals he is absolutely blundered. And yet he keeps starting. Why? He's a championship level player at best at this point in his career. Get him off the fucking pitch and start Rodrigo. At least maybe consider starting Rodrigo as a CAM instead of Aaronson. Because guess what? At least Rodrigo knows when he's near the box how to get his fucking dick in. All right? Aaronson wouldn't know. He's never been inside the box except once this season. And that was just because somebody blundered and he slipped into it. Accidentally slid into the box and right into the fucking goal. All right? And then it was over. He just in his pants since then. That's it. Not in the
He didn't
box.
slide in the box. He dispossessed Mendy.
Yes. Mendy was drunk. Mendy let him inside his box. He didn't know any better. All right. I'm sorry. I don't
Tom
mean
says
to,
if Bamford knew how to finish, Aaronson would have 7 or 8 assists.
Okay, maybe 5, 6, but maybe 7. I don't know. Yeah, Bamford's fucking awful.
In that argument, though, Aaronson had plenty enough time to play with Rodrigo as well. And Rodrigo was finishing, so clearly something was missing regardless.
Let me just say that back again. He had plenty of time to play with Rodrigo, and Rodrigo was finishing. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Brett.
So I got Aaronson gets the assist on that one, too.
Yes. So, well put, my friend. All right. The Aaronson. Jesse Marsch says, the Aaronson slander is unwarranted, disgusting. I don't think it's disgusting. Okay, Jesse, are you watching every single game religiously like I do? Because if you were.
He was coaching it.
No. I'm talking about the metaphoric Jesse that we have in our chat. Because if you were, you would be really frustrated for Aaronson right now, at Aaronson. But in some ways, you could be frustrated for him, too. I'm frustrated for both. I'm frustrated at Aaronson because I don't think he's been as good as he can be. And I'm frustrated for Aaronson because of Bamford's fucking incompetence. So it's been like a double fuckery, right? He's getting fucked because he's trying too hard. But then even when he does make something happen, that shit doesn't work out either. So it's just frustrating. You feel like he's double cursed. It's like I don't even want to see him on the pitch anymore because he seems double cursed. That's why I'm saying get Bamford off, put Rodrigo in, and maybe Aaronson's passes might actually amount to something. I'll go with that. I'm fine with that theory. I would live with that theory. I would guess that there might be more there if Aaronson.
It seems strange trying to address the person behind the Jesse Marsch troll and it's clear that it's a bit. You know, asking if a troll account has watched, religiously the Leeds game is a little silly.
That's true.
So,
yeah, that's
the
true.
metaphoric Jesse. Yeah,
because we know that's not really Jesse.
We already went over Harry Taint's bingo cards.
Excellent, Harry. By the way, awesome stuff. Who pissed in the
video? Can't show the video here, but we already talked about this, Adam.
We already did. Yep,
so
we covered it.
Skip. Okay. Whew, that's close.
We skipped it. Yep. All right. So are we near the end here? We
never,
good?
Derek. We're never near the end. We got another 20 minutes, Derek, and we'll be done.
All right. Deacon Clapcheek says, you're just doing that to meet the quota. The past few months have made me dislike Marsch more and more. He might be more self-absorbed than GGG. Now, that is pushing it, but it could be true. Dude thinks he's good enough to be turning down Premier League clubs at the final hour. Yeah, we don't know exactly what the sticking points were there, Deacon. We're not quite sure, Adam.
Good.
Don't let him anywhere near the national team. It will be GGG all over again. I'd agree with that.
That's two different points because
I do.
Derek
know.
spent about 30 minutes just on that last sentence, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that point. I have no idea though. But as far as the turning down the Premier League clubs the last hour, and you mentioned we have no idea what happened, what went down. I don't know. It's just one of those things where maybe he doesn't want that question mark of a final 8 games to be a potential black spot on his resume when moving forward. I don't know.
We don't know, and we don't know what the offers were. You're thinking they're like real offers. They might have just been, hey, keep us out of relegation. You get to keep the job. If not, you're just temporary.
I don't even know if that's the case. And what if it's like, hey, you get the job for the remainder of the season, then we'll readdress it after that.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
at that point, you're sitting there going like, that doesn't sound very secure.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And if you get relegated again, it just makes you look like shit. I wouldn't have taken that Southampton job. Is that a real offer, Southampton? I don't know. I wouldn't want it. Inform Derek that he can now finally rest that wild hair up his ass that's been tickling him for the last few weeks about Aaronson. Is this supposed to prove something?
He's scoring in the box.
No, he's hugging someone with a box. That's about it.
You have no idea what they do when they're off the field or when they're on the field. You don't know about that.
They play Monopoly.
Yep, probably.
And golf.
God, what a boring fucking game to play right now.
Listen, all right. I know I use that metaphor a lot, and maybe I would probably guess that Aaronson scored before. So, I in real life, if he has not translated that to the field. I think that's his sister. Oh boy.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, that picture proves nothing to me. And I don't think Aaronson is in any way a Pulisic at all. I don't think like he's a super religious dude who's waiting for marriage or anything like that.
But I don't know if I was mixing up Aaronson with Sargent there as far as having the quote unquote high school sweetheart, if you will, because that's what Sargent had.
Oh, Sargent's up in that box. He's already got a child. So but his issues are different on the field at this point. They have changed.
Surprised he didn't flop.
Yeah, surprised the picture wasn't with him on the ground.
Chris Gary does say Aaronson has a girlfriend. I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. Chris Gary also won bingo because I forgot who said they had bingo earlier. Has not sent it my way yet.
All right, Chris.
So Chris Gary says, "Are we done yet?" You said that. That probably just got in the bingo, by the way, because you did say that.
Yeah.
Multiple swears and a sins. Of course, that happened.
Yeah.
Stupid Twitter post.
Yeah. Maybe.
Which one?
Who's the stupid one? Guess that's up to opinion, isn't it?
Yeah. We had a super chat and there was jizz talk. That's the first thing.
There was jizz talk?
Yeah, he even called it out.
I don't doubt it.
He called it out when it happened.
Yeah. Oh, can we do Yanks Abroad real quick?
We play at 10. Yeah, we can go over Yanks Abroad. That's fine. Yeah.
All right, real quick. Horvath went 90 on Friday with a tie. DK 90 and a loss. DK did not look good. In fact, that's why he didn't start today and only got 14 minutes. Sargent 83 for in the win against Blackburn. Trusty, he played left back again in a 1-1 tie. No, Trusty did. Smallbone, he's not an American, but Willie Smallbone played 71 for Stoke in a loss. Holmes is injured again. Gooch went 90 in a tie. Stefan 90 in a loss. And then Stefan today again. There was one of the 2 goals that Stefan did some bad shit again. Des did not dress. There's no surprise there.
I don't think AC Milan are going to keep him after this window.
No, I think he's gone. He's gone.
That article's out daily. People are like posting like it's like brand new news. AC Milan has come out and said that they're not going to exercise his clause. No fucking shit. They've said it for like the last 2 months.
There's something there too. I don't know what it is because Dest seems to be well embraced and loved with U.S. men's national team, but so far wherever else he's gone outside of Ajax, it's been bad. So I don't know how he fixes that.
I mean, he did well enough at Barcelona until the later stages. I mean, he was a consistent contender there. And then the last season at Barcelona was crap. And then he got transferred and it's crap. So
Yep. Booth went 41 in a win. He got cracked upside the head and bled all over the field. Pepe, he should be fine. He should be fine.
his best Brian McBride impersonation.
And not even close to that, though. Pepe went 90 in a loss. Mendez did not dress for Zala. I'm guessing he's injured.
Yeah, what's up in that?
I don't know. Cannon 90 at center back and a tie for Boa Vista. Haji Wright 90 and a goal for Antalyaspor. Maurice Malone 65 in a loss for Wolfsburger. Then we got Ream and Jedi. I guess we should talk about Fulham because they seem to be like really dropping off here at the end of the season, like steeply.
Yeah.
And they didn't lose by much. I get it. But it's not the Fulham I saw like even 5 or 6 games ago. Like something's not right. And yes, the main answer is Mitrovic.
Yeah.
That's what's not right.
Maybe that's the biggest factor as it all in as a whole. So
I mean, Mitrovic is such a massive threat for them. And listen, I like the guy they brought in for him, but he's no Mitrovic. All right. Mitrovic can do anything from any angle. He's like if oh shit. Anyhow, forgot the player's name. Anyhow, he's a great player, and he's got an anger control problem. He's like a Zlatan, right? Without the verbal skills, Mitrovic, and with a bad temper issue that's
tough.
with a bad temper issue that's uncontrollable, whereas Zlatan's like whatever. All right, and then we got Jedi and Ream, yeah, loss. Pulisic 30 and a loss. Reyna did not dress. It's weird.
He's sick.
Is he really?
That's what they came out with. I can only go off of what's being reported out of Dortmund. You can look into it. You can try to read between the lines if you want to, but I can only go off of what they're saying.
Man, that little cold that he had turned into like fucking herpes.
I blame Weston on this one.
Jesus. P. Fox 7 and a loss. Aaronson and Chandler Paxton Aaronson were in the 18th, did not play for Frankfurt. Benji Michel 20 for Aruka and a win. Jaboli Arayibi is injured. Your favorite player. Terrence Boyd 67 and another loss for Kaiserslautern. Kaiserslautern, what's going on there? This whole last 3 weeks has just been fucking horrible for Kaiserslautern and Terrence Boyd. Tillman 69 and a loss. CCV 90 and a win. Wea played it right back for 90 minutes again. Mihailovic went 59 at Aze in a sort of lackluster game. Fossey went 90 for Standard Liège. Played really well, but nobody's talking about fucking Marlon Fossey. Might be time to start talking about him because he seems to be building himself up the ladder of right backs. He seems to be performing better on a general basis than our friend Reynolds at Westerlo.
Wasn't he included in a Camp Cupcake recently?
Fossey?
Yeah.
No.
Who am I thinking of that play came out then?
No, it wasn't Fossey. Fossey's been disappeared. And he's playing really well for Standard Liège. He scored a week or so ago. It's time to start talking about him instead of Reynolds, I think. First of all, Standard Liège are a classically very good team. They're usually one of the top standard bearers for the league. And I just think he's playing better than fucking Reynolds is. It's my opinion. You don't have to like it. Aaronson and McKennie, we already talked about. Matt Turner, of course, did not play. Balogun went 90 in a tie, got a goal from a penalty kick. Did not have a good game, by the way. So not every game Balogun plays does he have a good game. I think he blew at least 2 goals. He just blew it, just choked. Or whatever he did. I don't know. Not choked. Maybe he just had a bad moment. EPP, they lost again. He went 90 in that loss. They are in relegation zone. Paredes went 30 against Scally's Mönchengladbach, but Gladbach won. Brooks went 90, we already talked about. Musa came in for the last 20 for a pathetic-ass Valencia team that lost again, or also in relegation. Reynolds was injured, I guess. We're not sure. Sam Vine's still somewhat injured. McKenzie went 90 in a loss for Genk. Man, Genk are really like all of a sudden, right at the end of the season, starting to suck. And now they're only up by 2 points. They were up by, like, at one point, 9 points. They were first place. Now they're only up by 2 points. Are they going to blow this by season's end? Are they going to fuck this up and not win the league? This is crazy. Soto, by the way, went 34 for our favorite team in Austria, Klagenfurt. Green, 77 in a win.
So you pronounce that so differently than I would have. It's usually Klagenfurt.
Klagenfurt.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think the Austrians talk that way. Anyhow, Green went 77 for Greuther Fürth. And guess what? Good old Max Dietz got 5 minutes too. And they won the game. Conrad did not dress. No point in bringing him up.
What? He might be one of the players coming in against Mexico, though.
Yeah, could be. Zendejas went 72 in a win, but he got hit by another player's cock and broke his nose. Hoppy in the 18, and we already talked about that. It's really not good what's going on there. And this Monday, Gooch went 90 for Sunderland in a win. Horvath went 90 in a win. And we already talked about DK went 14 in a tie, I believe. Stefan went 90 in a 2-2 tie. And that's it, folks. That is it.
Did Gooch just come back from an injury, or was he on the bench for a bit there? I forgot.
He was, and he played.
So he just got back from injury?
This was his first 90 since coming back from injury. Christian Ramirez, by the way, in MLS, scored a goal. I mean, I'm just mentioning it. It doesn't mean dick. Just like when I tell you Jesus Ferreira scored a goal for Dallas, it doesn't mean dick. Although he did start as a CAM. Bobby Wood, he scored a goal too, but it doesn't mean dick. And then we got Barlow scored for New York Red Bulls, but it doesn't mean dick. And then Atencio scored for Seattle. Now that does mean dick because that guy's good. He's a really good player. I was really impressed watching the Seattle game this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him some dick for that goal because he played well. Brian White got a goal for Vancouver. He was assisted by Gressel, and they won the game, but it doesn't mean dick for the U.S. men's national team. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't mean dick. And you got one that's like, that means some dick. That's some shit. That's some jizzle. All right. I'm dead chuffed. Pookie is leaving Norwich. I guess you could be.
It's actually pronounced Norwich.
Norwich.
Somebody made that comment at the very beginning of the show.
Norwich. Yes,
Norwich.
I know. We're not supposed to pronounce the fucking W because it has one, but that's okay. You know, we will go along with how it's supposed to be pronounced, and we will pronounce it Norwich. Norwich. Fuck.
Sound like a pirate. Norwich.
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 Fuck. Now I'm just being Kent again. Fuck. Norwich. Instead of Norwich.
Al Whiteson says that Sargent played 90 today, and they're damn close to the promo playoff. Aren't they in 7th? Isn't that?
Yeah, but they got a tie today. Al, they got a tie. That's a game they got to win. They're still sucking 7th, Al. Come on, man. That needs to be a win, Al. I'm sorry. It does. That's limp dick shit. Like, they should have gone out there today and got a win. And they didn't. And Sargent's just in a scoring slump. It's like infuriating to watch because he does all the hard work, but he doesn't really get into the lane to get a good pass. He's just not finding the space like he was earlier in the season, where he was in the right place at the right time. Getting those headers.
Currently in 8th place right now, so
they dropped even further. So a tie sucks now.
And 5th through 7th place only have 62 points, so it's a 1 point gap between 8th and 5th at this point.
Yeah, the game before Al, they did get a win on Friday, and that was great. And I was happy. Was it Friday they got the win? I think it was. Anyhow, it's just been frustrating.
Jesus.
It's just been frustrating watching them because they look like the better team usually on the day. They look like they're the better team, but they don't win. And it's just frustrating to watch, man. A lot of frustration. He has been doing so many good. He's like I said, he's a workaholic. He's physical. He's a big boy. He's out there. He plays with daddy pants, excuse me. Not daddy points. I don't even know what that is. But but in the end, I need him to start scoring some goals now.
There's a reason why his coaches over Bremen and all 3 or 4 of these had it in Norwich always find a way to play him. They may not play him in the
they love him. They love him.
But they love what he brings to the equation. He's the type of player you want on the field. It's just now, as you're saying, Derek, and I agree 100%, he's consistently score goals. Yeah,
that needs to happen. He isn't just a work merchant, Jesse. I'm sorry. And he is in a way not overrated because I think everybody's, for the most part, given up on Sargent as like the future center forward for the United States men's national team. Who's talking about him being the guy? I don't know. A couple people maybe.
He just got off the World Cup where he was the guy at that point.
I know, but now Pepe's taken over the guy role.
Fair enough.
And Balogun is taking over the guy role above both.
Yeah.
If he picks us. So we'll see. I don't know. It is frustrating. I will give you that. Like watching Norwich games is like
when you can.
It's like beating your meat for 30 minutes and then the neighbor knocks on the door because they want to borrow some butter. And you're like, God damn it, this is just getting good. And now I gotta fucking release the snake and let it rest because I gotta answer this door. I'm not gonna answer it with a big fucking hard on. So you gotta take that 30 seconds to go, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Margaret Thatcher on a cold day.
Margaret Thatcher, whatever, to get that thing to go down. And then you answer the door, provide whatever product they need that they forgot for their cake or whatever the fuck they're making. But yeah, it's really frustrating. So, all right, guys, I think we're done for the night. I think we covered everything. It was a fun night. How are we filling these shows with complete, absolute horseshit? I don't know, but we're managing it somehow.
Just imagine when we actually have topics to talk about.
I am so waiting for some more juicy shit to pop up. I really am. I seriously am waiting for some really good stuff to come up. And until then, we're just going to have to remain calm, continue to be chuffed. Chuffed. That was the word of the day. Chuffed.
Not chaffed.
What?
Not chaffed.
Not chaffed. Chafed.
No, I was trying to make it work there, but it didn't work.
All right. Just remember, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your grandma. Like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave. Hit it. Don't smash it. You know what? You don't even need to hit it. You just need to like lightly glance it. Or, use a phalange to just tap it. Phalanges are fingers, by the way. Most of you know that. It's like all these technical terms for body parts. We don't have to use them. Hey, it's just your dick. We don't need to fuck around and start calling it other things. But until the next time on the Straight Right Card, make sure that you don't unnecessarily use lube. Don't unnecessarily use lube. I know they were our sponsors at the time, but we were never endorsing you to use lube unnecessarily.
But do the women like it, though? That was the question.
If she's ready to go, then you can chuck out the KY. All right. She's probably ready to go and doesn't need it because it's more pleasurable for her in that way. Too much lube is not good. It does not. It's not stimulating. All right. We're done for tonight. We'll see you next time. We'll see you Thursday. Bye.
She's a trap, she's an unsung novel, turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on a line, or a phone call with or without wine.
You're gonna do her. Yeah.
Oh no!